So we've seen LG come out with some pretty nice looking devices in the LG Envy 3 and also LG Envy Touch, both devices being geared towards text messengers. But the LG Glance is probably more designed for the basic user in mind, just for making phone calls and something simple and plain. Now, the design of the LG Glance is really basic. It really doesn't really stand out when you compare it to other high-end devices. First of all, it uses the candy bar form factor, which just makes it really lightweight and very thin profile. The materials that they use is pretty durable. It's very well constructed. As you can see, there's this almost aluminum colored contour border that really gives it a nice look with the black plastic. Still a great material and feels really well in the hands. Now, on the back, they use this pattern gold design back cover just for the battery cover. We're not sure why, but it does add a sense of fashion, but also at the same time protects the battery really well. But it holds well in your hands. It's not too big, not too thin, and it doesn't add any weight when you put it in your pocket. Now, the keypad's pretty well sized. It's very tactile and it will accommodate even the largest of fingers. Now, the navigation joystick which they use is reminiscent of the one that they use on the LG Shine for AT&T. We like this one a little bit better just because it's a little bit bigger and actually moves around more freely than the Shine. The hardware buttons, left and right soft keys, are a little bit raised to make it really easy to touch. The screen is a nice size screen for it, and also has a nice resolution, a little bit better than other basic phones. And on the left side, you have your volume rocker, your 2.5mm headphone jack, and the other side, you have your dedicated camera button, and also your micro USB port for charging, obviously, and also PC connection. And on the back, you have your speaker and also 1.3 megapixel camera. Now, one would think that the software on a basic phone like the LG Glance to be something a little bit plain and boring, but surprisingly, it actually has a pretty good options as far as wallpaper and also animations. This is the home screen, which displays the digital clock. Obviously, you could change that in the settings for like an analog. But once you go into the main menu, there's a lot of personalization you can actually modify with it. It's really simple. Nothing's too overly the top, and at the same time, it's just an easy way of navigating all around the phone. As we said, as far as the personalization goes, you could change the wallpaper, whether it be an animated or just a picture, or even something like the display themes. You could change it. There's 3 different preset options, which like how you're able to actually change them, so each device will look differently. As far as messaging goes on the Glance, it's pretty simple. Nothing really different from other phones. You could either use the SMS or make an MMS. We prefer definitely using the predictive T9 text message input, but if you're more of a traditional user, then the normal way should be good enough for you. If you're going to do any IMing on the device itself, you'll have 3 options, whether it be AIM, Windows Live Messenger, or Yahoo. You can sign on each one at the same time, and even if you go back to the home screen, it'll still run in the background. But the thing that really surprises the most was just the mobile email program that they use on the Glance. You could choose a preset, provider like AOL, Yahoo, or even Verizon. But if you have a specific mail client, you just put in the email address and password. From there, it'll probably ask you for stuff like the incoming and outgoing mail server addresses. But it works well, and at least you could use an alternate and even obscure email providers. Now, the web browser that they use on the Glance, it's really not the best, as we could tell you. It only gives you a single column view for websites, so I'll load up our website here, but you're just going to have to scroll a lot, either using the joystick or the volume rocker. There's no way to change it, and of course it's a non-3G device, so pages do take some time. It is kind of usable, but it's just the way it lays it out. The lack of changing it doesn't make for a great experience. We had a little bit disappointing experience with the phone call quality on the Glance. For starters, callers always stated that there was a background noise whenever we were on it, whether it be using the headset or even just using the speakerphone. On top of that, battery life, we managed to get roughly 2 days. 50% of the battery was left. That's when we had the brightness set to its highest, and also Bluetooth was enabled. The 1.3 megapixel camera produced some pretty good colors, but unfortunately lacks some fine detail. Now, there's some glaring things that are omitted with this device, specifically the micro SD card slot. There's nothing on here, so everything's going to be saved directly to the device. And on top of that, there's no option for video support. So those are just some key features that were really glaring to us. We do definitely like the simple form factor and design of the LG Glance, but unfortunately that's pretty much all that we could say about it. From the phone call quality to the missing features like the micro SD card slot or even the camera capabilities, we were just disappointed, especially when this device wasn't really geared towards anything else except making phone calls. You could probably find a little better devices out there that offer a little bit more features and also at the same time probably around the same price point.